How many of you here do not like living below your means?
No.
No, that's no fun. It kills people's spirits. Now, why would you want to live below your means? But many people have to, unfortunately, because the Fed is printing so much money that taxes and inflation go up, which means people are forced to live below their means.
You don't like to live below your means, do you?
No.
No. And I think when you say to somebody, live below your means, you wipe their spirit out. It's like saying to somebody, if you want to lose weight, go on a starvation diet. It doesn't make you healthier to starve yourself.
Well, if you're on a paycheck, you have that one income coming in, and if you're just one person, you've only got 24 hours in a day to work. So there is a limit to how much you can work to get those paychecks coming in. So in that situation, you are forced to live below your means.
Well, and the key here is to raise your means. I mean, that's the idea. It's not that we want to, be in terrible credit card debt or something like that. Instead, let's raise our means, and so that we can live the way we want to live instead of living at this poverty level.
Robert and I definitely do not believe in living below our means.
When we met in 1984, we had nothing. But every year we would get together at New Year's and we would set our goals, health goals and this goals. But we also had asset goals, what goals were we going to add every single year. So that's why it took us only about 10 years from 1984 to 1994 to become financially free. Because we just kept adding assets every year. And we continue to do the same thing today, simply because it's fun, it's exciting.
This is my greatest asset. I want to feed my brain so that I can expand my means without getting into excessive debt or where I start to lose. Because debt, like I say, is a two-edged sword. But telling somebody to live below your means is almost inhumane. I never felt good doing it. I wanted to strive to do better every day. I want to do better every day. I liked a good life.
And if we want to buy a luxury, if we want to buy a new car, we first buy an asset. So we buy the asset, and the cash flow from the asset pays for the payment for the car.
Yes.
So that it's again, never living below your means. It's expanding your means through acquiring assets that give you cash flow that gives us all those good things in life.
Like I tell the story of taxiing underneath your jet. I was in my jet, but it was a little Learjet. And I look up and there's a 727 and I taxi under it. I said, holy mackerel. It's big boys and their toys, but nonetheless it inspired me. I said, okay, I'm in a Learjet now, it's time to step up. And it doesn't mean the jet will make me happier. What makes me happier is the wanting to get better, to get smarter, to do better.
The point here is this: there's assets and liabilities. The way you increase your means is acquire more assets, not houses, not cars, but assets. So the reason so many people struggle financially is they have no financial education. They may be a good doctor, a lawyer, accountant, or a rock star, but if they don't know the difference between assets and liabilities, and they keep buying liabilities instead of assets, they have to keep living below their means. And not even if you're single or not, if you're on a fixed income, if you're an E and an S, your income is limited. Look, there's 4 major expenses that keep E's and S's poor. Number 1 is tax, and taxes are going to go up because the Fed is printing so much money all over the world. 2 is debt. People leave college with tons of debt, credit card debt to make ends meet, and then their house because they think it's an asset. 3 is inflation. Inflation goes up because as taxes go up and prices go up, then inflation goes up. And 4th is retirement. You must put something away for the day you stop working. So those are the 4 main reasons E's and S's, as a general rule, have to live below their means. But if you have financial education and live on the B and the I side, you can increase your means by increasing assets.
Before we continue, help us by smashing that YouTube like button and subscribe now to this channel. This shows the algorithm that you value the information, and it helps us spread this message. Sharing is caring. Please like and subscribe now. Thank you. And now, let's continue.
And financial IQ is how we solve our financial problems. And that is our message to people today, is that in a world of tremendous financial problems, it really is an opportunity to get smarter, to solve your problems and not run away from them. So it's really a good time, a tough time. Like you say, we don't want to go through them too many times. But when I lost everything in the 80s, I thought the world ended. But in retrospect, today, it was a good thing that it declared bankruptcy, paid my creditors back and fought back. I think that gives me strength today to take on this one.
I think a lot of people accept mediocrity, and in order to be able to grow in business, in order to make more money, you have to step out of that comfort zone and stop being mediocre.
Or hoping the government's going to save you. I think live below your means is one of the greatest spirit killers there is. There's a lot of people who like being poor. I'm not making it right or wrong, but that's definitely not what I like to do. And Kim and I, we definitely don't live below our means.
No, I definitely do not like living below my means. I've done it when I was in college, and that's because that was exciting times and all. But I get inspired when I have to create, when I get put into a position where I need to create something new, not contract. I want to be bigger than I am, not less than I am. And I think people are being taught to be less than they are instead of inspiring people to be more than you are.
But I feel, and I know that you feel, that you can do better today than you could have done 2 or 3 years ago.
Absolutely. When the last crash was that savings and loan crash in the 80s and the stock market crash of 87. And it was the best time because everybody was crying the blues. Everybody was saying, "Are you nuts? You're buying real estate?" And that was when the RTC, the Resolution Trust Corporation, they were giving away the best real estate in the world. And other people were saying, these are terrible times. I'm going, you gotta be crazy. I've never seen good property so cheap. Like you just said, the banks wanted to have you take it off their hands. So it was really a good time.
Well, and a lot of it comes from fear too. I think people are afraid of their futures. They're not sure where the futures are gonna lead them. So they think, well, I'll live below my means. I'll save. I won't allow myself to have this small luxury, that small luxury. And then, of course, they fall off the wagon.
Well, the worst thing is,
and then they feel bad about it.
Yeah,
so
the worst thing is
guilt.
they cut back on their expenses and they save money, right, Mike? That's the worst thing they could do.
Right. Depreciating money.
It all goes back to the questions you ask. I mean, when you say, I can't afford it, I don't have the money for that, a better question would be, how can I afford it? How can I get the money for that? Expands your mind.
In my community where I grew up, living below your means was pretty much a step up. We didn't have any means and we didn't live and we didn't know how to live. It was basically survival. And some of the ways we created those means were, of course, by legal definition, illegal. But that was the way we survived and that was the way we got by. So now living below your means is completely opposite to abundant living, which is what I believe in my faith is abundant living. The opposite of that to me is not the way that God intended for us to live.
So that's why I think it's absolutely criminal our school system does not teach us much about money. And what they do teach us, they tell you put your money in the bank, which means you lose more money. And they talk to a financial planner who put you in mutual funds. That is not financial education. That is educating people to give more money to the rich.
That will also cause you to have to live below your means.
Yes.
Right. That's what they're training you to do.
Well, and while you're at it, you're going to be paying more and more taxes because you get no tax benefit for living below your means.
And that's the problem is they say to a child, go to school and get a job or become a doctor and lawyer. You will pay more than your fair share of taxes. And then you too will have to live below your means.
What to do in such a situation? Inform yourself and keep your financial education strong. We from the Compact Group offer our loyal subscribers a free educational portal with firsthand monetary, financial, and economic knowledge. Enter our invite-only Insider Club by clicking the link below. You will get access to first-class information far earlier than the rest. We have prepared a special deal for all our members where you can access a giant pool of Robert Kiyosaki's financial wisdom for just $1. To find out more, simply click the link below and join our Insider Club absolutely free. But there is more you can and should do. Build up several streams of income. More and more people realize that they have to take their future in their own hands, but they don't know how and where to start. We from Compact offer our Insider Club members unique opportunities. Strengthen your financial muscle and get the edge. Click the link below. Become part of our free Insider Club. No financial obligations. But there's one important thing you have to know. You have to become active. So do it now. Become active and see you on the other side.